Once upon a time, there was a beautiful house near a jungle. A little girl, Cindy, lived with her granny in this house. She was very fond of listening stories about magic and fairyland. Whenever Granny went to water the flowers, she sat with her and listened different stories. As the time passed, Cindy grow old. She take interest in horror stories. She insist her Granny for horror story. Granny scolded her, but she didn't care about her advice. Day by day she become more stubborn and did whatever she want to do. She bought horror story books from market and read them alone. She decorate her room with scary stuff. Even she played paranormal games like Charlie, and light the candles in dark rooms and enjoy. She wants some adventure in her life, but she didn't know how terrible it could be. Cindy was restlessly waiting for the time. One day she was playing Charlie game. It started to dark. Gradually her face turned white. Suddenly she heard some strange voice from outside her window. She jumped to the window with excitement, but the scene across the window scared her. She couldn't believe her eyes. In front of her window a horrible human monster stood with red eyes. Cindy was so frightened she wanted to run away, but the monster was coming close to her. She panicked and tried to shout, but her voice got stuck in throat. She wanted to call her Granny, but it was no use. As the monster approached Cindy, she tried again to shout, but monster caught her, and she became unconscious. Then suddenly the whole scene changed. She was imprisoned in a gold cage. She tried to escape from the cage, but monster caught her. "You can't imprison me. Let me go. I have to go home," she shouted. But the monster didn't listen to her. It became more scary and black. She was crying and begging, but it was no use. She was disappointed on herself. Why she wouldn't listen to her Granny. That's why she got into trouble. I wish I had listened to her. She began thinking about her Granny and became sad. "What do you want from me?" she asked the monster. "I have to get out from here. If you want to get out, you have to tell my name," monster replied. "If you are successful, you will get freedom. Otherwise, you will always be imprisoned by me, or I will eat you when I'm hungry. You only have one day. I will be there tomorrow by evening, and if you don't tell me my name, I will keep you here forever." After saying this, monster went away. At first, Cindy's tears were flowing for some time. Then she thought that there was no point of crying. So instead of sympathizing myself, I should use my mind. This thought made Cindy look around to find a way to escape. Suddenly she saw a key on the ground near the cage. Maybe this is the key of this cage, she thought about and moved ahead and picked up the key from the grass. Now the cage was opened and she started chasing the monster. After walking for a long distance, she reached the mountain area and saw the monster again turned into human body and dancing. In the dark, he crept with a fearsome trait, Sargrim, the monster that rules the night. With claws that scratch and eyes that gleam, he haunts your shadows, stealing dreams. Sargrim, she talked to herself. "Okay, fine, now I should go back and wait for him." She went back to the cage and waiting for the next day. Next evening, monster came back to Cindy. He was so happy because he believed that no one knew his name, and no one never knew. He come near to the cage. Cindy was looking relaxed and fearless because she know after reveal monster name his magic will broke and monster will be vanished forever. So she was smiling. Monster was little bit surprised to see the face expression of Cindy. He come near the cage and talk with anger. "Now you tell me my name, otherwise I will eat you." Hearing this, Cindy smiled widely and started singing. "In the dark you creep with might. You think you can rule the night. No one knows your name, am I right? Now listen carefully. Your name's Sargrim, am I right?" And she started laughing. Sargrim turned red with anger. He stomped on the ground angrily. His spell began to break. He moved forward to grab the Cindy, but when he came near her, he turned into a frog. Cindy caught the frog, then let it go. Everything seemed good. Once again the whole scene changed, and she found herself standing at the window of her room. Now she learned her lesson. She should always listen to her elders. She cleaned her room and decorated with flowers and good books and began to live happily with her grandmother.